so you get the trade coming, if you remember with the map, it's not coming out of Rome, it's coming out of Egypt. And Egypt has its own history with Afghanistan, with if you think of the Seleucids who succeed Alexander the Great. So there are marriage alliances, people know each other, and it's coming out of very much Roman Egypt, which is why, when we move forward, this is the solitary piece of Egyptian art we find in Italy. But if you're looking for links between what's now Gandhara and Roman Egypt, in the center, this is an image of Isis found in Antinoe in Upper Egypt, exactly the sort of area where caravans were leaving for the Red Sea ports, where that Buddha was found. Now here, left and right, you have the same image, but it's become Hariti, the Yakshi in the Buddhist stories. And it's look at the baby on the knee, look at the flow of the drapery, look at the baby's arm reaching for the breast. It's the same image, but it's come from specifically Roman Egypt. And that carries on into the Coptic period. In the center, we've got this amazing mural from Miran, which is now in the National Museum. Left and right are Coptic faces of saints in the Coptic Museum in Cairo, but originally from the monastery of Saqqara. But look specifically how they do the chin, this circle. It's a very unusual way of depicting a face, but it's there in Gandharan art and it's there in Coptic murals. And it's at this period that when, with this trade with Rome, that you begin to get this very Hellenized form of the Buddha appearing in Gandhara, first at the Bimaran casket. This figure here is probably the oldest one we have. And then look at the similarity between an image of Augustus and the Gandharan Buddha, very similar drapery. And then you have pictures of the Trojan horse turning up in Peshawar. So the Brits in the 19th century, when they saw this lovely Gandharan sculpture, loved this romantic Kipling-esque idea of survivors of Alexander the Great. But it's actually not Greek. It's much later Roman art that's coming from an astonishingly busy and rich trade with Rome from 4 centuries after Alexander. It's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th century AD, coinciding with those coins that we saw in that map. And then it goes on north.
The turn of the first millennium is really an astonishing time for the movements of peoples and ideas and so on. If I may add to what you were saying about the Bernanke Buddha head, notice that the very first image that we saw of the white Buddha head had these spiky-looking projections behind his head. Now, that's not something you see in Gandharan art, for example. That's something that the Romans used to visualize the sun god, Sol Invictus. So what you're seeing is the Buddha, an Indian figure depicted in marble made from Anatolia, brought from Anatolia by Alexandrian craftsmen, possibly of Greek descent, using Roman iconography for a sun god. Oh. It is just astonishing to think about it.